walking home when she was shot dead. An investigation was launched and is still going on. Now with me is her son, Anna Politkovskaya. Thank you very much for joining me here in RT. On the 17th of November, a court hearing into her murder will begin. The investigation has lasted for more than 2 years. How effective has it been?
The investigation may have lasted for 2 years, but it's not over yet. I believe the work that's been done was positive. However, only a small portion of the findings are clear, and the key questions concerning the person behind the murder are still unanswered. That's why now it's only the early stages of the investigation.
Does it mean that the case or evidence hasn't been set out in full with regards to who was responsible?
Yes, I can say that the court hearing we will see in the future is only a technical one, to check all the demonstrative technicalities that were worked out and also details for a further investigation. I don't mean that this is not an important hearing, of course it is, but overall the investigation is still going on, and the important thing is that this case should not be forgotten.
The court is also in the process of deciding whether the hearing will take place behind closed doors or be open to public. What do you think is more likely to happen?
The first 2 days will only be technical hearings. They will determine the regulations surrounding jury selection and court procedure. Then the real hearing will start. I think the case will be heard behind closed doors, even though our family, my sister and I, are against it. My mother was first of all a journalist, and making the court hearing over her case closed to the public, I think, is wrong. I believe the best outcome will be if the court hearing finishes before New Year's Eve. Presumably the court hearings will take place every day.
During the past 2 years you have represented the family. Why did you do that? To help keep the public informed or not to forget about what happened?
I never wanted to take part in media events. I had to keep talking to the press, both domestic and international. And even now I'm still doing it so people will continue to pay attention to the legal hearings. I must say the interest that our family received from the foreign media side was and is very strong. However, there's a difference between Russian and the foreign media's attitude. Talking to foreign journalists, I hear the same questions again and again, like, can you comment on the Putin regime in Russia? Do you think the KGB has something to do with the case of your mother's murder? I hear them so often, I don't even get surprised anymore.
But how do you answer? What do you usually say to them?
I have laughed at these questions. I even say to journalists not to ask me such things. However, I do answer sometimes, saying that I never thought about the murder of my mother in that kind of way. And I believe there was no government order given for the murder. I answer directly like this. Of course, journalists do not want to hear that. They want to hear some criticism and some kind of sensational information.
Have different people, either political figures or foreign organizations, offered you any help or support?
Let's start with Russian institutions. First of all, our family receives constant help from the Russian Union of Journalists. They regularly keep in touch and invite us to different social events. As for political organizations, they invite us to different meetings, but no one from our family goes. Surprisingly, we received strong support from the Moscow government when they helped us with the funeral ceremonies and offered us medical support. A range of international institutions, including UNESCO, Reporters Without Borders, the International Journalists Association, and many others offered support. For our family, it's very important. Many official organizations, including the media, have said that no matter what the outcome of the trial is, we won't believe it until your family accepts it.
Do you think the image of Anna Politkovskaya has changed in Russia?
In our country, her image hasn't changed overall. Of course, the majority of people have begun to forget who she was. And I'm not saying it's bad, it's part of human nature as time goes by. And here the job of journalism is to remind the nation of problems which exist and shouldn't be forgotten.
that was RT's exclusive interview with Anna Politkovskaya, the son of the murdered journalist Anna Politkovskaya.